Guys, have you checked your scores?
No, sir.
You should be checking your scores. Because I've released all the scores. Who is this? Bonolo. Okay. I've released all your scores, so make sure that you check. Yeah?
Yes, sir. Da ntweteme budeko. That day.
Skitland. Skitland.
Sir,
All right. Are you alone there or you are many?
I'm with Mutel.
Motel. Okay. And then Bonolo, are you alone? Bonolo, what's happening to your... Matike, it's only the two of you, right?
Yeah.
All right. It means we are about 6 or so now. So let's not waste more time. Let's just start. The rest will join later, okay? What you see here are it comes from the quiz you guys wrote. And you can see that these are the questions which have been, and these are the ones that most of you got wrong. Ne? For example, that question 1. See what happened here. Just a few of you got it right. It means there's a problem with it. And we are going to take these one after the other, fix them before we move on to look at other things. I believe you're all getting me, ne?
Yes, sir.
All right. So we are going to take them one after the other. Let's look at the first one. The line drawn from one end of the circumference to the other end of the circumference without passing through the center is what?
A chord.
It's a chord, but most of you were picking segment. Most of you were picking segment, and it's a chord. The emphasis here is from, ne? Is from one end of the circumference. It ends at the other end of the circumference. Therefore, it cannot be any other thing. It has to be a chord. Okay, so let's get it right. Let's look at the second one. When a radius and a tangent intersect, I don't know if the word was, the problem was intersect, but intersect simply means they've met. Ne?
Yes, sir.
So if a radius and a tangent meet, what happens? They form what? That was the question. What do they form?
A 180 degrees angle.
Hey. Then the question is, do we really know what a radius is? Do we know what a tangent is? Let me take you back quickly to look at a few stuff here, ne? So that we remind ourselves of what a radius is, how a tangent looks like. I have a circle here. I have drawn a tangent this side. Yeah, I've drawn a tangent here. Let me even take my tangent up there. So this is the situation we are facing. Sorry. We have that tangent and we need a radius. So let's say I draw a line from center.
Sir?
There's a line from the center to where?
The circumference.
The circumference. So I'm going to draw that line from the center and it can be here. Do you see that? Then it's a radius. But because I want to talk about the relationship between the radius and the tangent, I'm going to let it meet this tangent. You see that tangent? I'm going to let it meet it here. If I let it meet it here, it's no longer a radius. Are you with me?
Yes, sir.
If it meets here, it's a radius. If it meets this side, it's a radius. But if it goes to meet the tangent this side, it is no longer a radius because it has gone outside the circumference. Motel, are you with me?
Yes, sir.
Good. So it's going to meet a tangent. It has to be a radius. Therefore, for the radius to meet the tangent, then it has to meet it at only one point. You get me? Do you get me, guys?
Yes, sir.
I see Bonolo is struggling there. And Kawelo is also disappeared. Let's hope that they're able to come back. Ne? Yeah, for now, let's continue. Yeah, so this is the radius and that is the tangent. And the question was, when a radius, and this is a radius, and meets a tangent at the point of tangency, what happens? They form a certain angle there. If I remember well, Skitlan, you said it forms 180.
Yes, sir.
Do you think this is still 180?
Sir?
Do you think this
Actually,
angle is what?
90 degrees on this side and 90 degrees on the other side, which is equal to
So
180.
you admit that your statement was incorrect, né?
Yes, sir.
But I want us to be sure. Let's measure. Now, let me measure. Okay, and here we go. I believe you see a certain angle there. I'm not sure if it's clear, but you see this angle there, né?
Yes, sir.
What is written there?
90 degrees.
90 degrees, right? Very good. It means that whenever a radius intersects a tangent, they must always form a perpendicular. This is what we call a perpendicular. The geometric terms, né? Perpendicular, 90 degrees. Then we are referring to the same thing. All right. Are you all okay with this radius and tangent thing? Can we move on to the other one? Perfect.
Yes, sir.
Now let's go back and pick the other responses which were here. This question 7. The question 7, which was talking about the angle subtended by a diameter, yeah, at the circumference of a circle. The angle subtended by a diameter at the circumference of a circle is what? Mutel, what did you say in that piece? No, forget about what you said in that piece. Tell me what you think about this now. The angle subtended by a diameter at the circumference of a circle.
Supplementary, sir.
If we say supplementary, do you know that we are talking of 180 degrees? So we can't be talking of supplementary here. But to be sure of it, let's go and use one of the diagrams to see what the answer is supposed to be. Remember, we are talking of the angle subtended by a diameter. Eh?
Yes,
are you with me,
sir.
guys?
Yes, sir.
It should be subtended by a diameter. So I am going to go back to my GeoGebra. Let me. All right. Let's go back to this. Let me join this line, then you see my semicircle very well. That's a semicircle, this one.
Yes, sir.
And then we are talking of an angle that is subtended by the diameter. So here we go, there's an angle here, then we get to this side. I have my angle up here. This is the angle we are talking about, guys. The
Yes,
angle
sir.
subtended. Subtended means formed, okay? Angles produced, formed, subtended by a diameter. that angle will be what? What will be the size of that angle? So let's go and measure the size of that angle once again and see what we get from there. What angle do we have here, guys?
90 degrees angle.
90 degrees. 90 degrees. So whenever we see a diameter in a circle, although this is a semicircle, né? But whenever we see a diameter in the circle, then we should be able to predict what will happen at the circumference if that diameter subtends an angle there. So you see this smaller circle down here. It's a smaller circle. But if we are able to produce a diameter right now, né? If we're able to produce a diameter right now to pass through that center, then we can tell the kind of angle that will be formed. We should be able to tell the kind of angle that will be formed if the diameter subtends an angle at the circumference. So let's say that with this diameter, I draw a line from here, it goes to this side. Then I draw a line to this side. You see we have an angle here.
Yes, sir.
What should be the size of this angle?
90 degrees.
90 degrees. What is the reason here?
Sir?
What is the reason here? Katleo, welcome back.
Angle subtended.
Angle subtended.
I say angles in the semicircle.
Angle subtended by the diameter.
Okay. Kere says angle subtended by a diameter. Skitlani, you said angles in a semicircle, right?
Yes.
Yes, sir.
And the truth is that you are both correct. The other truth is that one of them is acceptable reason. And the acceptable one is angles in a semicircle. Okay, so for examination purposes, let's try to keep angles in a semicircle. Are we together?
Yes, sir.
Good.
Yes,
But that angle, you see, if I move it here, it is still angle subtended by this diameter. It doesn't matter wherever I move it to. Even if I move it here, it must still be equal to what?
90 degrees.
90. It must be 90 degrees.
No.
So let's keep those statements and the reasons safe. Next, we will need it. Let's check it from here. If this will also behave the same way. You see the 90 is still there. We move the 90 out a little so you see. Now, if I move my angle, you see the angle is still 90. You see?
Sir, something is cutting.
I think it's the audio. You hear me now?
No, sir.
You hear me?
You are catching
Yes, sir.
Take a few. Let's try to finish this ones as quick as we can. Yes.
Sure.
Number 8. The angle formed between a tangent and a chord at the point of contact, at the point of tangency, is what we are looking at right now. And let's go and use a diagram to see what we mean by the angle between tangent and chord, okay? So I can produce a chord, yeah? So let me produce a chord quickly. Let's say this is my chord. And I am going to draw a tangent. So let me draw a tangent, and then we will look at the angle that will be formed between the tangent and the chord. So a tangent is drawn here. Then we have an angle that is between the tangent and the chord. Which is this angle? Do you see my angle?
Yes, sir.
Okay. I want us to do something quickly. I want us to measure that angle. before we even continue. Let's hope that the angle is yes, the angle has been measured. I'm just gonna try to bring the angle out so that you see it well.
34.1, sir.
34,1, right? Good. I can change the size of this angle based on the length of this arc. So let me try to do a quick change and then we will see the size of my angle as the arc changes. You see? This is getting bigger.
Yes, sir.
Mm.
Yes,
So,
sir.
so now the size of this angle is 44,8 degrees. What I'm going to do is I'm going to allow this chord to subtend. Remember I explained the word subtend, ne? So I'm going to allow this chord called CB to subtend an angle in this segment, in this bigger segment, which we call the alternate segment. Let's do that and see what happens to that angle. So here we go. I have one line here. Then that line comes back here. Guys, I have an angle at the circumference here. Subtended by which chord?
Sir,
Are you there? I see your video is off, but do you still see the screen?
yes, sir.
All right. Then help me here. I was asking about angle D.
Yes, sir.
Which chord subtended this angle?
It's CB.
Chord CB, right?
Yes, sir.
Very good. Yes, it's true. It's called CB that subtended that angle. Now let's look at this angle down here. This angle was formed by that chord CB and this tangent.
Yes, sir.
But this angle D, we said that it is formed by chord CB, meaning we have one chord in common here. This one chord CB is the one which joined this tangent to form this 34,8 degrees. Then we have this same chord CB that subtended, guys, we are left with 10 minutes. It's the same chord CB which subtended this angle D at the circumference. So what I want us to do is to check the size of that angle D. So let's measure and see. You see the size of angle D?
Yeah.
Is there anything that you want to talk about? Size of this angle?
Tangent.
Continue.
An angle that is subtended by the same chord by the with the
Yeah, just try. I'm listening.
the angles are equal, sir.
Which angles are equal? Which angles are equal?
Angle D and angle B1.
Okay, let's do it like this. Let's say you're explaining